God says, "My child, listen carefully, for the truth that has been hidden from your eyes is not hidden from me. I have seen everything, every whispered word, every secret plan, every attempt to conceal what is precious and sacred." They tried to hide the baby's pregnancy, thinking it could be kept from the world, thinking that silence could protect them or serve their own desires. But my child, nothing escapes my sight. I have watched, I have guided, and I have protected, for this life is blessed, and its purpose is sacred. The secrecy around this child has weighed heavily on the hearts of many. The mother, carrying this innocent life, has felt fear pressing against her, the heaviness of expectation and the worry of being discovered. The family, perhaps unsure or confused, has tried to manage the situation with whispers, guarded words, and hidden actions. And yet, the light of heaven sees through every shadow, touches every hidden corner, and surrounds this unborn life with protection stronger than any human interference. I have sent angels, unseen yet vigilant, to guard this child. Every step of the mother's journey, every heartbeat of the baby, is observed and protected. I have placed a shield of divine light around them, preventing harm and guiding those who act with care and purity toward the mother. You, my child, may not see all these forces at work, but know that they exist. Every moment of fear, every sleepless night, every tear shed in secret, has been accompanied by my presence. The ones who believed they could control the situation through silence or manipulation will soon see the limits of human power. No plan, no secrecy, no effort to hide what is sacred can succeed against divine will. The truth has its own timing, and my timing is perfect. Patience now is a gift, for every secret kept will one day be revealed, and that revelation will bring not shame, but clarity and peace. There is a weight in secrecy that humans carry. A fear that grows in the dark, a tension that coils like a snake in the heart. But the divine does not operate in fear. I operate in light, in knowledge, and in love. Every plan to conceal the pregnancy has been noted by my angels, and every movement to protect the unborn life has been guided by my hand. What seems fragile is, in truth, surrounded by a fortress of spiritual protection. Do not underestimate the power of what is unseen. The mother may feel alone, the family may feel uncertain, and the world may seem unaware. But the spiritual reality is alive and active. The unborn child carries my blessing, my intention, and my purpose. Every breath, every heartbeat, every small movement in the womb is a signal of life sanctified and watched over. My angels are there in every corner of the home, in every whispered conversation, in every prayer lifted quietly from the heart. Those who sought to keep this pregnancy hidden did so from a place of fear or misunderstanding. They did not see the light within this child, nor did they recognize the sacred energy surrounding the mother. Yet every action they took has been accounted for in my plan. I have seen the worry etched into faces, the hesitation in voices, and the hidden glances exchanged across rooms. All of it has been recorded in the heavens, and all of it has been redirected to serve protection, truth, and blessing. The mother, my child, must remain steadfast. Fear will come, anxiety will press upon the chest, and doubt may whisper lies. But I am here. My presence surrounds her and the baby, infusing courage into her spirit, calming her heart, and guiding her every step. Every burden that secrecy imposes will be lifted in my time. Every worry about what others may think or say will dissolve as my light becomes evident. You may notice signs now, moments when the path feels illuminated, when guidance appears in unexpected ways, when people who act in kindness are drawn to support and care. These are not coincidences. They are signals from me, proof that the unseen is active, proof that truth cannot be contained, proof that every sacred life is protected. The angels act quietly, ensuring the safety of the child and the peace of the mother, while gently correcting those who try to obscure what is pure. Even the smallest actions are noted. A kind word offered at the right moment, a helping hand appearing when it was most needed, a moment of clarity piercing through confusion, these are manifestations of my protection. Nothing occurs without purpose, nothing is hidden from my gaze, and everything that is sacred is defended by forces far beyond the understanding of humans. Do not be surprised if the hidden truths begin to emerge. Perhaps a letter will be found, a whispered confession may surface, or a sudden insight will bring clarity. These are all part of the unfolding plan. No one can accelerate it, no one can prevent it, and no one can diminish the blessings that flow from it. What was hidden will soon be known, and when it is revealed, peace will replace fear, understanding will replace confusion, and love will surpass all shadows. My child, remember that secrecy does not equal safety, and silence does not protect what is sacred. Only my presence, only divine oversight, only alignment with truth can ensure protection. The baby's life is a sacred gift, the mother's heart is a sacred vessel, and the family's journey is guided by the light of heaven. All who act in fear or secrecy will find that divine truth cannot be contained, and every act of protection guided by my hand will flourish. There will come a time when the secrecy falls away naturally. The mother will feel the relief of honesty, the family will experience the calm of divine clarity, and the world will witness what is meant to be seen. That moment will not bring chaos, but order. It will not bring shame, but understanding. And in that moment, the baby, who has been protected from the very beginning, will shine as a testament to my love and my perfect oversight. The unseen angels continue their work even now. Their wings shield the child, their presence calms the mother, and their guidance directs all events toward revelation and peace. Every step taken in secrecy, every attempt to control, every whispered plan is observed and managed in the heavens. Nothing can touch the blessing, nothing can harm the sacred life, and everything that is hidden will be brought into the light at the perfect moment. My child, take heart. Do not carry worry in your chest. Trust in my timing, trust in my protection, and trust in the unfolding of what has been seen from the beginning. The baby is safe, the mother is guided, and the divine will ensures that all hidden truths are revealed gently and fully. Every act of concealment is turned into a path of learning, every moment of fear is transformed into a moment of faith, and every heartbeat of this sacred life echoes with my blessing. In the coming days, watch quietly, feel closely, and trust without hesitation. The hidden will become visible, the secret will become known, and the light of my presence will illuminate everything. Peace will settle where fear once lived. Joy will replace anxiety. Love will overflow the spaces that were once shadowed by secrecy. Know this, my child, they tried to hide the baby's pregnancy, but God saw everything. Nothing is lost, nothing is missed, and nothing that is sacred can be harmed. The angels are with you, my protection surrounds you, and the blessings intended for this life will manifest fully, beautifully, and in perfect timing. God says, my child, now is the time to understand the depth of my protection and the power of divine timing. The secret that others tried to keep hidden, the baby's pregnancy, is already cradled in the hands of heaven. Though humans may act in fear, secrecy, or misunderstanding, I am always present, guiding, guarding, and arranging every step so that what is sacred cannot be harmed. The mother, the child, and even those who are unaware of my plan are all moving within the boundaries of my divine will. The mother may feel alone, carrying the weight of this secret in her heart, uncertain about how the world will respond when the truth is revealed. Yet I have placed angels beside her, silent, unseen, yet vigilant. Every heartbeat of the child is watched over. Every thought of worry that rises in the mother's mind is calmed by my spirit. Every shadow of fear is illuminated by the light of my presence. No human secrecy can overpower this divine protection. You may notice small signs of guidance appearing in the lives of those involved. A stranger offering help at the right moment, an unexpected understanding from a family member, a sudden clarity in the mother's mind, these are not coincidences. They are gentle touches from heaven, designed to prepare the path for revelation, to protect what is sacred, and to ease the journey of those who carry this life. Every step is orchestrated with precision, and every moment is held within my care. The forces that sought to hide this pregnancy believed that silence would protect them or shield them from consequences. They did not see that my eyes are everywhere. They did not feel the weight of my protection surrounding this child. They did not understand that every attempt to manipulate or conceal what is sacred only strengthens the need for divine intervention. When humans act in fear, they cannot predict the movement of angels, nor can they interfere with the plans that have been written in heaven. Even now, the mother may feel pressure from those around her, questions left unasked, expectations carried in silence, glances that hold judgment. But I tell you, my child, these are temporary. The unseen forces at work are greater than any human observation or interference. The angels move in ways that cannot be measured by sight or sound. They shield the mother from harm, they calm her heart, and they ensure that every intention aligned with love is nurtured. Divine timing is essential in this process. Though the secrecy may create fear and tension, my timing ensures that the truth is revealed not in chaos, but in clarity. The mother and those close to her are being prepared for this revelation, and the moment it arrives will bring understanding, peace, and affirmation of my protection. No one can rush this process, no one can delay what is meant to unfold, and no one can obstruct the divine course that I have established. The angels whisper guidance through subtle signs, through feelings of calm, through sudden insights that appear like light piercing darkness. A letter, a message, a conversation may suddenly make perfect sense. The mother may feel an inner certainty about her decisions, an unshakable calm that reassures her that all is under my care. These moments are the seeds of faith being planted, the foundation upon which clarity and truth will grow. Even those who are unaware of the pregnancy are instruments of divine guidance. Actions that seem ordinary may carry messages. Conversations that appear trivial may shift the path toward revelation. My influence reaches every heart, touching every life connected to this sacred journey. Nothing happens randomly. Everything is orchestrated for the protection, growth, and blessing of the child and the mother. Do not allow fear to dominate, my child. Fear is the veil that hides clarity, while faith lifts it. Every time the mother feels doubt, she must remember that the divine is watching, protecting, and guiding. Every time uncertainty threatens her peace, she must turn inward, feeling my presence as a shield and anchor. This child, carried in her womb, is already bathed in light, already surrounded by protection, and already destined for a path of blessing and purpose. The people who tried to hide this truth are now part of the unfolding plan. Their attempts to control, conceal, or manipulate are being gently redirected. Each action they took in secrecy is now becoming evidence of my intervention, proof that no human effort can overcome divine will. The truth will reveal itself not through conflict or confrontation, but through the natural unfolding of events aligned with my timing. My child, notice the subtle miracles that surround this sacred pregnancy. A friend arriving at the perfect moment, a problem resolving effortlessly, an understanding appearing where confusion once reigned, these are signs of my presence and of the protection surrounding this life. Every small act of kindness, every moment of clarity, every peaceful thought is a confirmation that the divine is in control. Even in moments of isolation, the mother is not alone. My spirit rests with her. Angels whisper peace, calm, and courage into her heart. Every heartbeat of the child resonates with my blessing. Every worry that tries to enter is met with divine light. Nothing can harm the sacred life, nothing can penetrate the shield I have established, and nothing can prevent the unfolding of the truth at the perfect moment. As days pass, the mother will begin to notice signs that the secrecy is no longer a burden but a precursor to revelation. Conversations that once seemed ordinary may now carry new meaning. Glances that seemed judgmental may transform into understanding. Guidance will appear where it was least expected. Every event, small or large, is orchestrated to prepare the hearts of those involved for the truth to emerge naturally, gently, and fully. This divine protection is not only physical, but spiritual. The child carries a blessing that extends beyond the womb, a purpose, a destiny, and an energy that will impact all who encounter it. The mother's heart, though pressured by secrecy and fear, is being strengthened, prepared, and aligned with my will. The family, though uncertain, is being guided toward support and understanding. And the unseen forces that once acted in secrecy are now being brought into the light, neutralized, and redirected for blessing rather than harm. My child, every moment of patience, every prayer offered quietly, every act of faith strengthens the protection around this pregnancy. The truth cannot be hidden forever, and when it is revealed, it will bring peace, understanding, and the recognition of my hand guiding every step. The mother will feel the relief of clarity, the child will continue safely within her, and all who witness the unfolding will see that nothing, no matter how secret or hidden, can escape my sight or protection. Even now, angels are moving invisibly, aligning every event for the right moment. Timing, understanding, and clarity are all in place. Every small action, every kind gesture, every insight received is a thread in the tapestry of truth that will soon unfold. Nothing can prevent it. Nothing can hide it. The sacred life, the mother, and all those involved are wrapped in a divine plan that cannot fail. Do not fear what others may say, my child. Do not doubt the unseen, for the divine is always at work. The baby's life, sacred and protected, carries my blessing. The mother's courage, though tested by secrecy and pressure, is fortified by my presence. And when the hidden is finally revealed, all hearts will see the power of faith, protection, and divine timing. Every secret kept in fear will become a lesson in trust. Every moment of worry will transform into a moment of peace. Every hidden intention will be revealed in my perfect time, bringing clarity, blessing, and divine justice. The child is safe. The mother is guided. The family is prepared. And the unfolding truth will shine as a testament to the power of divine protection and the beauty of heavenly timing. My child, even when all seems calm, unseen forces are always at work, both those aligned with light and those attempting to obscure it. The pregnancy, sacred and full of life, has attracted attention from energies that do not understand the value of what is being carried. There are those who act from fear, jealousy, or misunderstanding, believing that secrecy and manipulation can control what is divine. Yet I am here. My presence is constant. My protection is unyielding. Every action intended to harm or conceal is neutralized by the angels I have sent, by the light that surrounds the mother, and by the plan I have ordained. The mother may sense the subtle pressures, the anxious glances, the hushed conversations, the attempts of others to influence or control her decisions. These are not random events. They are part of the tapestry in which her faith is strengthened, her courage is tested, and her awareness is awakened. When human schemes arise, I am already steps ahead, guiding the course, softening the hearts of those who act unknowingly, and protecting the sacred life from any harm. Every whisper meant to confuse or frighten is transformed into clarity. Every secret effort to manipulate is met with divine intervention. The angels move silently, invisibly, yet powerfully, ensuring that no hidden action can touch the child or disturb the mother's peace. Even as others plot in secrecy, their attempts fall into my hands, where they are redirected to serve understanding, revelation, and blessing. There will be moments when the mother feels a weight she cannot explain. A feeling of pressure, a sense of uncertainty, a quiet tension in the air. These moments are not meant to scare her but to awaken her to the unseen presence of divine protection. Every heartbeat of the child echoes with my blessing, and every breath of the mother is surrounded by my light. The unseen shields surrounding them are stronger than any human intent. Fear cannot penetrate this protection. Doubt cannot dissolve it. The sacred life remains untouched. I have seen every attempt to hide the pregnancy, every strategy devised to control the narrative, and every word whispered in secret. None of it escapes my attention. I am aware of the intentions, the fears, and the desires of all involved. And I act quietly but decisively. The child is safe. The mother is guided. Those who seek to obscure the truth are gently led toward understanding, correction, or awakening. The power of heaven is far greater than the power of secrecy. The mother may notice subtle interventions that seem coincidental. A sudden clarity in her mind, a conversation that leads to understanding, a message received at precisely the right moment. These are not mere accidents. They are divine guidance, nudges from the angels, confirmations of my presence, and evidence that the unseen is orchestrating every detail. Every time she listens to the quiet voice within her, she aligns more closely with protection, truth, and peace. Those who try to manipulate or hide the pregnancy do so without full knowledge. They cannot see the forces at work in the unseen realm. They do not understand the magnitude of my protection. Every hidden effort to control outcomes is met with a spiritual response that ensures the child's safety and the mother's peace. The truth cannot be suppressed, for it is guided by divine light, illuminated by my will, and preserved by my angels. Even when opposition seems strong, the unseen forces defending the child are stronger. Angels move in ways invisible to human eyes, protecting, redirecting, and neutralizing harm. Negative intentions are dissolved by light. Attempts to manipulate or hide the truth are softened and redirected so that revelation may occur in the proper time. Nothing is wasted. Every action, every word, every effort, whether born of love, fear, or misunderstanding, is woven into the larger plan that ensures the safety and blessing of the child and the mother. The mother must remain steadfast, rooted in faith, and aligned with the divine. Every fear that rises is met with reassurance from the angels. Every doubt that whispers is answered by my presence. Every anxious moment is transformed into a step closer to clarity, peace, and protection. She is never alone. She is never without guidance. And she is always surrounded by forces that safeguard the sacred life within her. Those who act from secrecy will slowly begin to feel the futility of their efforts. They may sense unease, experience delays, or find that their actions lead only to confusion. These are not punishments, they are divine adjustments, corrections that guide them away from harming what is sacred. The truth will emerge naturally, and when it does, the hearts of all involved will recognize the hand of heaven at work. You, my child, who witness these events, may feel concern for the mother and the child. Your prayers, your intentions, and your presence contribute to the protection around them. Every act of faith strengthens the shield. Every word of support fortifies the mother's courage. Every moment of patience aligns with divine timing. Together with my angels, you are part of the unseen network of protection that preserves life, peace, and truth. Even the smallest actions matter. A kind gesture, a whispered word of encouragement, a presence that reassures, these ripple into the spiritual realm, reinforcing the safety and blessing surrounding the mother and child. You may not see the immediate effect, but it is powerful and enduring. The child's life is protected, the mother's journey is guided, and the opposition's influence is neutralized. When the truth is finally revealed, it will come not as chaos, but as clarity. Not as judgment, but as understanding. Not as harm, but as confirmation of divine protection. Every hidden effort to conceal will become part of the testimony of how divine intervention ensures safety and preserves the sacred. Angels will be seen in small miracles, guidance will appear in the simplest forms, and the unfolding events will confirm the power of my will. The mother may feel moments of heaviness, but these are temporary. My presence transforms every challenge into an opportunity for faith, every struggle into a step toward revelation, and every hidden action into a testimony of divine protection. The child's life remains untouched, blessed, and guided. The mother's heart is fortified. And those who once acted in secrecy are gently redirected toward awareness, understanding, and eventual alignment with truth. My child, remember, even when opposition rises, even when secrecy clouds the situation, divine light is stronger. Even when human plans seek to conceal, divine truth cannot be hidden. Every effort to harm or manipulate is met with protection, guidance, and correction. The sacred pregnancy is safe. The mother is protected. The angels are vigilant. And the unfolding revelation will show the power, wisdom, and mercy of divine intervention. The forces that attempted to hide this sacred life are powerless against my light. Every human effort, every secret plan, and every attempt to influence outcomes is neutralized and transformed into a pathway for blessing, clarity, and protection. The mother is not alone, the child is not at risk, and the hidden opposition cannot overcome what is sacred. Peace fills the space around the mother, clarity rises in her heart, and protection remains unbroken. Every small sign, every gentle intervention, every subtle miracle is evidence of my care. Even the unseen opposition contributes to the testimony of my power. No harm can touch what I have ordained. The child is safe. The mother is guided. And the revelation of truth will come in perfect timing, bringing peace, understanding, and blessing to all involved. My child, the moment of revelation is approaching. The secret that was hidden, the whispers that were kept, the fears that were silent, all of it will soon be seen clearly. The pregnancy, sacred and protected, will no longer be hidden behind walls of secrecy. Those who tried to conceal, control, or manipulate will now witness the unfolding of truth, not with anger, but with the undeniable clarity of my divine oversight. Every heart will recognize that nothing escapes the eyes of heaven, that nothing hidden can remain in darkness when my light is present. The mother, who has carried this life with courage despite fear, will feel the relief of clarity. The weight that secrecy imposed on her heart will lift as the truth emerges naturally, guided by my hand. She will understand that every anxious moment, every sleepless night, every moment of doubt was met with my unwavering protection. My angels have been beside her through every step, ensuring that no harm touches the child, that no plan to conceal or manipulate succeeds, and that every move aligns with my divine will. Those who attempted to hide the pregnancy may feel a mixture of emotions, surprise, fear, and perhaps shame. Yet these feelings are part of the awakening I bring. I do not aim to punish, but to illuminate. I do not seek revenge, but understanding. Every human action, whether born of fear, ignorance, or selfish desire, will be gently corrected by the divine presence surrounding this sacred life. My child, know that justice is not always a human measure. Divine justice restores balance, reveals truth, and protects what is pure. The revelation will not bring chaos. It will bring clarity. It will not bring conflict, it will bring understanding. The moment the secret is known, peace will begin to settle into hearts that were previously unsettled. The mother will feel a wave of relief washing over her, the child will continue to be cradled in my protection, and even those who acted in secrecy will recognize the power of divine truth. Every whispered fear, every hidden glance, every attempt to obscure the sacred life is now illuminated by my light. You may see signs before the revelation itself, subtle shifts in conversation, unexpected clarity in understanding, sudden insights appearing in moments of stillness. These signs are the work of angels, preparing hearts for the unveiling of truth. My child, the unseen forces act quietly but decisively, ensuring that every detail unfolds in perfect alignment with my will. No human effort can disrupt this flow, no secret plan can withstand the power of divine timing. The mother may feel nervous, knowing that the truth will soon be apparent. Let her heart be calm. Every action taken in secrecy has already been accounted for, every intention weighed, and every outcome guided by my hand. The child is safe. The mother is protected. And those who acted with hidden intentions are being guided toward awareness and understanding. My presence transforms potential harm into lessons of faith, and potential fear into moments of spiritual growth. When the revelation occurs, it may happen subtly, a conversation that clarifies everything, a moment of understanding that brings light, a gesture or message that reveals what was hidden. It may also appear dramatically, sudden recognition by family, visible acknowledgement from others, or an unexpected intervention that brings clarity. No matter the form, the unfolding will serve peace, protection, and blessing. The sacred life is unharmed, and every heart involved will feel the hand of my protection. Even those who feared consequences will see the beauty of my plan. The mother's courage will inspire them, the child's innocence will soften them, and the unfolding truth will reveal that divine timing is perfect. There is no need for judgment or resentment, every lesson unfolds gently, every correction is guided, and every heart touched by my presence begins to understand that secrecy cannot overpower light. The family and those around the mother will also experience transformation. The energy that once carried tension and uncertainty will shift to clarity and peace. The understanding that the child is protected, that the mother is guided, and that divine oversight prevails will settle deeply. Hearts that once questioned may now find faith. Minds that were clouded by suspicion will gain clarity. And the atmosphere, once heavy with secrecy, will now glow with acceptance, love, and divine light. The angels have orchestrated this moment from the beginning. Every whisper, every look, every hidden effort has been part of the tapestry leading to this revelation. My child, the unseen forces surrounding the mother and the child ensure that the truth emerges smoothly, naturally, and with the highest benefit for all involved. This is a demonstration of my power, my protection, and my perfect justice. The mother may feel waves of emotion as the secret becomes known, relief, joy, even lingering fear. Let her know that all emotions are natural, and every feeling is held within my care. The child remains safe, surrounded by light. The mother remains calm, guided by my angels. And the family, once uncertain, begins to embrace understanding, love, and support. Even those who acted in secrecy will sense a shift. The unease, the tension, the attempts to conceal, all are dissolved by the light of truth. They may feel humbled, aware of my presence, and guided toward better choices in the future. The revelation does not seek to punish, it seeks to illuminate, to protect, and to ensure that what is sacred remains untouched. This moment also brings a deeper understanding for everyone involved, that no human plan can supersede divine will, that secrecy cannot hide what is sacred, and that protection from heaven is unwavering. Every action, every thought, every hidden intention has been observed, guided, and neutralized where necessary. The mother and child remain untouched, fully protected, and bathed in blessing. As the truth becomes evident, the mother will feel a surge of peace she has not known before. The weight of secrecy will lift. Anxiety will fade. Fear will dissolve. Every heartbeat of the child will resonate with safety. Every step of the mother's journey will reflect divine guidance. And those who once acted from fear or secrecy will begin to recognize the power of my hand in every unfolding moment. My child, rejoice in this moment. The revelation is not an end, but a beginning. It is the emergence of clarity, the flowering of truth, and the manifestation of divine protection. Every hidden effort to obscure what is sacred now serves as a testimony to my power. The mother, the child, and the family are all embraced by the angels, surrounded by light, and guided toward peace, understanding, and blessing. No harm can touch the child. No fear can dominate the mother's heart. No secrecy can remain hidden in the presence of divine truth. Angels move silently, restoring balance, offering protection, and ensuring that the revelation brings only peace and blessing. The sacred life is fully shielded. The mother is firmly guided. And the family is uplifted by the unmistakable power of my divine presence. The moment has come, and clarity shines where shadows once lingered. Joy rises where anxiety once weighed heavily. Love spreads where fear once reigned. And my child, the mother, and the family witness the unfolding of what has always been protected, always guided, and always cherished by heaven. The revelation does not end with the unveiling of the secret. It begins a journey of renewed faith, strengthened hearts, and enduring blessings. The child's life, once threatened by secrecy, is now celebrated. The mother, once burdened by fear, now walks in light. And those around her, once unsure, now embrace understanding, love, and the undeniable presence of divine protection. God says, "My child, now the time of revelation has passed, and the sacred truth that was once hidden has emerged into the light." The baby's life, protected from the beginning by my angels, now moves forward under the blessings of heaven. The mother, who carried this life through fear, uncertainty, and secrecy, now feels the weight of her heart lifting, replaced by the calm certainty of my presence. Every moment of worry, every tear shed in silence, every night spent in anxious thought has been met with divine care. Nothing has been overlooked, nothing ignored, and nothing left to chance. The family, once clouded by uncertainty and confusion, begins to understand the depth of my intervention. Those who acted from fear, secrecy, or misunderstanding now witness the power of divine truth. Hearts soften. Minds awaken. The lessons of patience, faith, and trust become apparent. Every action that once seemed to conceal or manipulate has been transformed into a testament of my power, a proof that no human plan can supersede divine will. The mother now feels the subtle presence of angels more keenly. Their wings surround her, their whispers calm her, and their light guides every step she takes. She begins to notice the small miracles, a friend offering support at the perfect moment, a message arriving with clarity, the resolution of challenges that seemed impossible. These are not coincidences, they are the tangible expressions of my protection, evidence of my unwavering care, and signals that every aspect of this sacred life is watched over by forces beyond the comprehension of the human eye. Even those who once opposed or tried to hide the truth now experience transformation. The tension in their hearts softens. Understanding replaces judgment. Fear gives way to reverence for what is sacred. They witness that the child's life is untouchable, guided by divine light, and that the mother's courage has been strengthened by my constant presence. Every hidden action, every whispered plan, and every secret attempt to manipulate has been redirected into a path that serves blessing rather than harm. The child, whose life has been safeguarded from the very beginning, now carries the imprint of my protection. Every heartbeat resonates with divine blessing. Every breath is a reminder of the sacred purpose that guides this life. Angels continue to guard and nurture, ensuring that the child grows surrounded by love, safety, and the unfolding plan of heaven. The energy that once hovered around secrecy and fear is replaced with light, joy, and the gentle unfolding of divine intention. The mother's heart now opens fully to the understanding of her own resilience and the undeniable presence of my care. She feels the reassurance that comes from knowing that no challenge, no secret, no human fear can overcome the plan of the divine. Her courage, once tested, is now strengthened. Her faith, once fragile, now shines brightly. And in every quiet moment, she senses the angel's presence, guiding her, comforting her, and celebrating the life she carries. The family, too, begins to experience the fullness of blessing. Relationships once strained by secrecy and misunderstanding are now mended through the recognition of divine intervention. Love flows where doubt once lingered. Communication opens where silence once reigned. The understanding that every hidden action was overseen by heaven brings peace, reconciliation, and the gentle restoration of trust. Even those who feared consequences find their hearts lifted, their minds calmed, and their spirits aligned with the flow of divine truth. The revelation of the pregnancy does not mark an end but the beginning of a new chapter, a chapter filled with protection, blessing, and spiritual growth. The mother, guided by my presence, now moves forward with confidence. She understands that every challenge faced in secrecy has prepared her for this moment of clarity. Every fear endured has strengthened her spirit. Every tear shed has been transformed into resilience, hope, and an unshakable connection to the divine. You, my child, who witness these events, are also part of this sacred unfolding. Your prayers, intentions, and faith contribute to the protection and blessing surrounding the mother and child. Every act of love, every word of encouragement, every silent thought of support strengthens the shield that surrounds this life. You are an instrument in the divine plan, your presence reinforcing what heaven has ordained. Even as the hidden opposition dissolves, their lessons remain. Those who acted in secrecy learn the power of divine truth, the futility of fear-driven actions, and the importance of aligning with love rather than control. Their hearts are softened, their minds are opened, and their spirits are gently guided toward understanding. What once seemed like an obstacle now serves as a testament to my protection, a demonstration of the power of faith, and a reminder that no one can hide from the eyes of heaven. The angels, who have worked silently since the beginning, now move with a gentle celebration. Every moment of vigilance, every act of protection, every guidance offered has culminated in this unfolding of clarity and peace. They continue to surround the child, ensuring safety, nurturing growth, and blessing every step of the journey. Their wings, invisible yet powerful, shield this life from harm, and their presence instills courage, calm, and joy in the mother. As the family witnesses the revelation, the energy of love and understanding spreads through every interaction. Conversations flow with honesty and kindness. Hearts open to forgiveness, compassion, and reconciliation. The mother feels supported, the child feels protected, and every soul connected to this sacred journey senses the unmistakable presence of my divine hand. The light of truth transforms fear into faith, secrecy into understanding, and uncertainty into peace. The blessings of heaven are now fully upon this family. The child's life is celebrated, the mother's courage is honored, and the angel's presence is felt in every quiet moment. The spiritual lessons of patience, faith, and divine timing have been fully realized. The hidden has been revealed. The sacred has been protected. And the unfolding path moves toward joy, peace, and enduring blessing. Even beyond this moment, the protection remains. The child continues to grow in the womb under my care, surrounded by angels and nourished by divine light. The mother's heart remains steady, guided by faith and strengthened by every lesson learned. And the family, once burdened by secrecy, now walks forward with clarity, understanding, and a renewed connection to the divine. My child, remember that every challenge faced, every secret revealed, and every hidden truth brought into light serves a higher purpose. The baby's life, once threatened by secrecy and fear, now flourishes in blessing. The mother, once weighed down by worry, now stands in courage. And the family, once uncertain, now embraces love, understanding, and divine guidance. This is the power of my presence, the work of my angels, and the unfolding of my perfect plan. No life can be harmed when it is sacred. No truth can remain hidden from heaven. And every heart that trusts, surrenders, and believes will experience the protection, blessing, and love that only I can provide. Rejoice, my child. Celebrate the victory of truth, the safety of the sacred life, and the unfolding of divine blessing. Peace fills the hearts that once trembled in fear. Joy rises where uncertainty once lingered. And love flows freely, illuminating the lives of the mother, the child, and all who witness this sacred journey. The hidden is now revealed. The blessed life is protected. And the divine plan continues, flawless and eternal. God says, "My child, there was a moment when the unseen cord of destiny gathered against the one who carries a piece of your soul. You could not see it with your eyes, but your heart felt it. You felt a strange heaviness one night, as if someone you loved deeply was standing before unseen judges, accused of things they never truly did. That pain that rose inside you, those sudden tears that came without reason, they were not random. You were feeling your soulmate's spirit trembling under pressure, standing alone in a trial meant to break them. The world may think of courtrooms as places of human judgment, but there are courts far beyond the walls of stone and law. These are courts of fate, where angels and dark spirits watch silently as destiny unfolds. In that sacred courtroom, your soulmate's name was spoken, not by mortals, but by forces that wished to silence their light. Lies were whispered against them, shadows twisted truth into falsehoods, and hearts they trusted turned away. You wondered why your own soul felt restless. You wondered why you dreamt of them, crying in silence, calling for help, reaching into nothingness. It was because your spirits are tied beyond distance. When one falls, the other trembles. When one bleeds, the other aches. Your soulmate stood accused of things not of their making. There were people around them, influenced by jealousy and fear, who wanted to see them lose everything, their peace, their hope, their purpose. The energy of deceit rose like smoke around them. Some smiled to their face and plotted behind their back. Others used words as weapons. They tried to prove your soulmate unworthy, tried to make them forget who they are. And while all this was happening, you, their other half, felt confusion without knowing why. You felt anxious, drained, lost, as if something was pulling your spirit down. That was no coincidence, my child. You were being spiritually summoned to feel what they could not speak. But listen carefully. I, your God, was there. I watched the court form in the shadows of time, and I said, enough. I will not let the soul I designed with love be destroyed by lies. I will not let destiny be rewritten by those who think they hold power over what belongs to me. As the case against your soulmate began, the accusers grew louder. The darkness celebrated too early. They thought they would win easily, that no one would defend the one they targeted. But they did not know that heaven does not sit silent when truth is in danger. So, I moved my hand. I sent help, not in the form of armies, not through revenge, but through wisdom and light. I appointed a divine lawyer, a messenger clothed in justice and mercy. You may think of this being as an angel, but they came in human form, hidden among ordinary faces. I whispered into the heart of someone pure, and they felt compelled to step forward and speak on behalf of your soulmate. This lawyer did not just defend with human words, they defended with truth that pierced the lies. Every argument meant to destroy your soulmate began to crumble under the weight of light. Every false witness began to tremble, forgetting their practiced lies. Because when truth stands in the room, deception loses its strength. Your soulmate may not have understood what was happening. They thought it was just coincidence, just luck. But in reality, heaven was rewriting their destiny through this divine intervention. Even when the courtroom was filled with tension, even when voices rose in accusation, there was a calm presence, a light unseen, standing beside them. That light was me. That calmness that suddenly touched their heart when fear grew unbearable, that was my whisper saying, "Hold on, I am not done yet." You, too, played a part without knowing it. Your prayers, your sleepless nights, your quiet tears became petitions in heaven. They became words before my throne. While humans argued on earth, your prayers were the secret evidence that kept the case open in heaven. You kept your soulmate's name alive in the realm of mercy. There were moments when it seemed all was lost, when the world's judgment seemed final. They thought your soulmate would be left with nothing but shame and loneliness. But just when the gavel was about to fall, I sent my spirit into the room. I caused confusion among the destroyers. Their tongues began to falter, their lies began to contradict, and suddenly, what they meant for harm started turning into testimony for your soulmate's favor. The divine lawyer, guided by my hand, began revealing truths no one expected. Documents hidden in shadows were found. Secrets kept in darkness were brought to light. Every attempt to trap your soulmate turned into evidence of their innocence. And you, my child, even though far away, began to feel sudden peace after nights of unrest. That was the moment heaven took over the case completely. Understand this, my beloved, your soulmate's life is under my divine protection. No earthly court, no human opinion, no dark spell can destroy the destiny I have written. When I decide to defend someone, no voice can rise higher than mine. Your soulmate's trial was never just about earthly matters. It was a test of faith, of strength, of love. It was meant to teach them, and you, that sometimes, the world must first misunderstand you before heaven can reveal your truth. Now the tides are shifting. The divine lawyer continues to fight not only in courtrooms but in the unseen realms of spirit. Every curse is being cancelled, every false word erased, every trap dismantled. Do you feel that sudden lightness in your heart? That gentle pull that tells you something is changing? That is the energy of victory moving toward both of you. The storm that once raged will soon be a story of deliverance. Do not fear for your soulmate. I have assigned angels to surround them, to whisper courage into their ears. I have placed compassion in the heart of the very judge who was meant to condemn. I have softened the hearts of those who once hated. Because when I enter a situation, I do not simply balance scales, I break chains. This case was not about guilt or innocence alone, it was about awakening. Your soulmate will come out of this trial different, humbled, purified, ready for divine purpose. They will realize that the love they once doubted was the love that saved them. Your prayers became the shield that covered them when no one else stood beside them. So, be still now. Do not let worry consume you. You are connected to a miracle in motion. The world may still be waiting for the final verdict, but I have already spoken mine. The verdict in heaven is, not guilty. Your soulmate's path will not end in destruction. It will end in redemption. The lawyer I sent will continue to guide, to protect, and to restore. And soon, you will see evidence, messages, signs, dreams, that show my hand has intervened. You will hear news that feels like a breath after years of suffocation. You will see your soulmate rising again, not through human favor, but through divine justice. Hold on to faith, my child. Every prayer you whispered was heard. Every tear you shed was collected. Every sleepless night you endured was not forgotten. I have already written the ending, and it is not tragedy. It is triumph. The court that once stood against your soulmate will soon witness their miracle. The same mouths that cursed will speak blessings. And when they walk out of that place, their soul will shine brighter, their spirit stronger, their heart freer. This is not the end, it is the beginning of their divine restoration. Stay still, stay faithful, and let my justice speak louder than fear. Because what I defend can never be destroyed. There came a night when the courtroom of heaven grew silent. The storm had raged for long, the accusations had echoed too far, and your soulmate's spirit was weary. They had cried in silence, feeling like no one could truly defend them. The weight of betrayal pressed upon their shoulders, the voices of doubt filled their mind like endless thunder. But in that stillness, something divine began to move, something not of this world. The moment came when I said, enough. The trial had gone too long, the pain too deep, and so I sent the lawyer whom heaven itself had chosen. This was not a man dressed in black robes of law, this was a being clothed in light, carrying authority not from earth but from eternity. The lawyer I sent was born of compassion, armed with truth, and moved by divine justice. You may think a lawyer stands only in courtrooms, but this one entered through spirit, through events, through whispers, through timing that could never be coincidence. They came to your soulmate disguised as an opportunity, as a new connection, or as an unexpected messenger whose words carried healing instead of judgment. Your soulmate, lost and trembling, had begun to lose hope. Every time they tried to explain themselves, no one listened. Every time they tried to defend, their voice broke. They were tired of being misunderstood, tired of standing alone. They felt like the world had already decided their fate. But then, as they sat in their silence, they heard a voice, gentle, wise, yet firm, saying, "You are not alone in this fight." That was the voice of the divine lawyer. It spoke not just to their ears but to their spirit. It said, "There is a truth higher than the lies spoken against you. There is a judge greater than the world's court. Stand firm, for heaven defends you." This being began to move around your soulmate's life, rearranging things silently. People who once ignored them began to notice their pain. Situations that were unfair started to shift without reason. It was not chance. It was my plan unfolding through my divine representative. You see, my child, when I send help, it doesn't always appear with wings or halos. Sometimes I place my warriors in human form, their words guided, their steps directed, their hearts aligned with my justice. The divine lawyer spoke words that carried my authority, exposing what was hidden, protecting what was pure. Behind closed doors, battles raged. Invisible arguments took place between angels and the forces of darkness. Every lie spoken against your soulmate tried to anchor deeper into fate, but the divine lawyer countered with truth. Every curse was met with a decree of light. Every manipulation was overturned by my hand. I watched as your soulmate's spirit began to strengthen again. The hopelessness that once ruled their heart began to fade. They started to feel peace in the middle of chaos, calmness in the midst of uncertainty. That calmness, that inner quiet, that was not the absence of problems, but the presence of my defense. Do you remember the sudden warmth you felt one night when you prayed for them? The unexplainable sense that someone was standing between your soulmate and harm? That was the moment the divine lawyer entered fully into the case. Your prayers had opened the door for divine intervention. You thought you were praying alone, whispering into the night, unseen and unheard. But in truth, every word left your lips as evidence before my throne. The divine lawyer took your prayers, held them like sacred documents, and presented them before the court of heaven. This, they said, is love unbroken. This is faith unshaken. This is the testimony of one soul standing for another. That love became the strongest argument against destruction. Because love, my child, is evidence that cannot be denied. It speaks louder than hatred, stronger than curses, and deeper than betrayal. Even now, as you listen to these words, the divine lawyer continues their work. They stand before those who have tried to harm your soulmate, not to punish, but to expose. They are shining light upon shadows, bringing truth into rooms filled with deception. One by one, the masks are falling. Those who played with lies are being revealed, not by human power, but by divine justice. Your soulmate may not understand what is happening. They may wake up one morning and suddenly feel that everything heavy is being lifted, that confusion is clearing, that opportunities are appearing out of nowhere. That is the signature of my intervention. That is the movement of the divine lawyer I have sent. They are rewriting what was written in pain. They are closing the case that darkness tried to open. They are replacing despair with destiny. There were people who thought they could destroy your soulmate's spirit, but now they will see that the one who stands behind them is not a human defender, but the living truth itself. And truth cannot be defeated. You, too, are part of this divine story. You were not chosen to love this person by accident. You were chosen because your soul carries the strength to intercede, to hold light even when the world is dark. Every time you refuse to hate, you strengthen the case of heaven. Every time you forgave, you broke a chain. Every time you believed that your soulmate was more than their mistakes, you proved your faith in my design. And I, your God, have been watching all of it. The divine lawyer I sent has been whispering to your soulmate's heart, you are not what they said you are. You are what heaven calls you, chosen, redeemed, and worthy. Slowly, your soulmate is beginning to believe again. They are beginning to see signs, the same numbers repeating, dreams that carry light, songs that seem to speak directly to them. These are not coincidences. They are confirmations that the heavenly lawyer is near, working still, ensuring that the verdict will be turned. The forces of darkness are restless now. They sense their defeat approaching. They whisper fear, they bring old memories, they stir up confusion, but do not be afraid. They cannot undo what I have ordained. Every time they try to reopen the wound, I send healing stronger than before. Every time they try to reopen the case, I close it with a seal of grace. And now, my child, the scales of justice are tipping. The divine lawyer stands before my throne, presenting not only your soulmate's defense but also your faith as evidence of divine connection. What I have joined by spirit cannot be separated by lies or distance. The lawyer speaks, this soul has been falsely accused, but through faith and love, truth has prevailed. And I, as the eternal judge, nod in approval. Because I see the heart, and no heart filled with sincerity, forgiveness, and love will ever be condemned. Soon, you will begin to see divine alignment. People who caused confusion will be removed from your soulmate's path. Doors that were closed unjustly will open again. The divine lawyer will make sure that the blessings once delayed will now arrive multiplied. And when your soulmate stands free, they will remember every moment you prayed, every time you believed when no one else did. They will understand that your love was not weakness, it was divine partnership. They will look toward heaven and whisper, God truly sent someone to stand for me. This is how I work, my child. I defend through mercy, I protect through hidden grace, and I vindicate through love. So, do not worry about how it will unfold. Do not fear what you cannot see. The lawyer I sent will not rest until truth is established and peace restored. You will soon feel a shift, a deep knowing that something heavy has been lifted. That is not imagination, that is the energy of victory settling into your timeline. The case is nearing its final stage. The divine lawyer has done the impossible, and heaven prepares for the verdict. Hold your heart steady. Speak no doubt. Let your faith remain your offering. Because what comes next will not be the destruction of your soulmate, it will be their redemption, their restoration, and the beginning of what was promised long ago. And when that moment arrives, you will know that it was I who sent the lawyer, I who defended your love, I who turned the impossible into testimony. The world may never understand the depth of what I am doing, but you will. For soon, my child, the one you love will rise again, free from chains, blessed with peace, and surrounded by light that no darkness can touch. And you will whisper in your heart, God truly sent someone to save them. There comes a moment, my child, when love itself steps into the courtroom of heaven as the strongest evidence of all. When every other word has been spoken, every witness called, and every lie uncovered, it is love that remains standing. Silent yet radiant. Fragile yet powerful enough to shift the fate of two souls. Your soulmate's case had reached that moment. The divine lawyer I sent stood tall in light, surrounded by heavenly witnesses. The courtroom grew silent, even the shadows dared not whisper. The lawyer turned toward the throne of justice and said, "My final evidence is love." And in that instant, the entire atmosphere changed. Because love is not a mere emotion, it is a divine force, older than time, written into the essence of creation itself. Every soul that has ever walked this earth is judged not by perfection but by the measure of love they have given and received. Your soulmate's life, though filled with pain and confusion, carried this one truth: they were loved beyond measure by you. And that love, pure and selfless, became the light that pierced through every shadow surrounding their soul. Heaven began to play back the memories, moments that you may have long forgotten but I never did. The nights you prayed, whispering their name when no one else cared. The days you wished them peace even when they caused you pain. The times you forgave when your heart could have turned to stone. Each of those moments was recorded as heavenly proof, unspoken yet undeniable. The divine lawyer laid them all before the court: your prayers, your tears, your patience, your faith. And one by one, they began to glow with divine light. Every act of love became a piece of evidence so strong that not even the darkest force could refute it. Love stood as testimony. It spoke without words, saying, "This soul cannot be destroyed because it is loved by one who carries divine grace." And I, your God, leaned forward, watching the beauty of what you had done, how your love had not only reached across distance but across realms. You may not realize it, my child, but every prayer you whispered for your soulmate sent ripples through eternity. Every "God, please protect them," you uttered became a shield around their spirit. You never stood in the earthly courtroom, but your spirit was there in every moment of the trial. Your love spoke louder than their accusers. There was a time when your soulmate doubted that anyone cared for them. They thought no one saw their struggle, that no one understood the battle within their heart. But your love traveled like unseen light, finding them in the darkest corners of their despair. When they almost gave up, something always stopped them: a memory, a warmth, a dream of your face, a voice saying, "Hold on." That was your spirit reaching out. That was love defending them when they had no strength left. And so, heaven began to shift. The accusers grew silent because no one can argue against the truth of love. The divine lawyer turned to them and said, "Look at the strength of this bond. Look how even distance cannot break what was written by God. You see, my child, love is not weak. It is the highest vibration of all creation. It carries the same energy that raised the sun this morning and keeps the stars burning through eternity. That is why I tell you, your love was not wasted, your faith not ignored. It became the sacred proof that your soulmate's soul was still worthy of redemption." As the lawyer spoke, heaven itself began to tremble with light. Angels who once watched silently began to sing softly, because they recognized what they were witnessing: a reunion not of bodies, but of spirits, a defense not of law, but of divine order. The courtroom filled with warmth. The chains around your soulmate's heart began to fall one by one. The heaviness that had followed them for years started to dissolve. The false guilt, the shame, the fear, all began to melt away in the light of love's truth. Then I spoke, and my voice echoed through the chamber, "This is the power of love that I created. It protects, it heals, it redeems. What I have joined through love, no darkness can destroy." Your soulmate felt this power, even if they did not understand it. Suddenly, they began to feel forgiveness stirring in their soul. They began to remember moments of goodness, times of grace, lessons learned through pain. They felt a desire to make things right, to live differently, to walk in truth. That desire was born from the love that stood on their behalf. And you, though unaware, began to feel a shift too. You started to sense that something was releasing. The tension that used to sit heavy in your chest began to lift. You began to feel calmer, more at peace, even without reason. That peace was not random, it was the reflection of the verdict that was forming in heaven. The divine lawyer bowed and said, "My work is not to accuse, but to reveal. Love has revealed all that needed to be seen." At that moment, I looked upon your soulmate spirit, once bruised and weary, now beginning to glow again. And I saw in them the potential I placed there long before the world knew their name. I saw how they were created for a higher purpose, not to be crushed by judgment, but to rise through it. I saw how their story would one day be a testimony that light always wins over darkness. Your soulmate's tears became prayers, and your prayers became miracles. Together, your souls were forming a bridge of redemption, guided by my divine lawyer, sealed by my own decree. And as the evidence of love filled the court, I smiled, for I knew that victory was already written. My child, understand this: love is never one-sided in my kingdom. Every act of love you gave has returned to you multiplied. The very prayers you sent for their freedom are now freeing you too. The pain you carried is being replaced with purpose. The emptiness you felt is being filled with my assurance. You may have thought your love was a burden, but it was actually a weapon of light. You may have thought your waiting was wasted, but it was divine preparation. Every moment of heartbreak shaped you into someone who could carry pure love, the kind that transforms, not just desires. Now, as the court listens to the final argument, heaven itself prepares to close the case. The divine lawyer lifts their hands and says, "All accusations have fallen. The only evidence that remains is love." And I nod, declaring, "Then let it be done. Let this soul be freed by the truth of love." Thunder rolls softly, not in anger, but in finality. The gavel of heaven strikes, and the decree goes forth across dimensions, redeemed. At that very instant, your soulmate feels a surge of peace they cannot explain. They may not know why, but they feel lighter, stronger, suddenly hopeful. You may wake that same night with a warmth in your heart, sensing their spirit smiling again. That is how connected you are. This, my child, is the evidence that no enemy can erase, your love. The divine lawyer's work stands completed in proof that love has already won the case. But the story is not over yet. The final verdict must still be announced in the presence of heaven and earth. The accusers must witness the power of my judgment, and you must witness the miracle that your faith has birthed. The courtroom of heaven is silent once again, awaiting my voice. Angels hold their breath, and the divine lawyer waits for my final word. The evidence of love glows brightly, unshakable, undeniable, eternal. Soon, I will speak that word. And when I do, everything that once stood against your soulmate will crumble like dust. The next chapter will be the verdict, and it will not be what the world expects. Because when I, the eternal judge, declare victory, no power in existence can overturn it. The courtroom of heaven stood still. The air shimmered with the light of divine justice, and time itself seemed to pause. The angels who had gathered as silent witnesses lowered their heads in awe, for they knew that the most sacred moment was approaching, the moment when I, the eternal judge, would speak. Before me stood the divine lawyer, radiant with the glow of truth. Every argument had been made, every lie unmasked, every shadow pierced by the light of love. The only sound that echoed now was the gentle rhythm of faith, the heartbeat of two souls connected by divine design. Your soulmate stood trembling, not in fear, but in awe. For the first time in a long while, they felt seen, not for their failures, not for their mistakes, but for who they truly were beneath it all. They could feel the warmth of my presence wrapping around them like a blanket after a long storm. All around them, the accusers, those dark forces that had once whispered lies and stirred chaos, stood in silence, their power fading. Every curse they spoke now returned to them as dust. Every deception they built now collapsed under its own weight. They looked upon the light surrounding your soulmate and could no longer approach. The divine lawyer turned toward me, their voice filled with peace. My lord, they said, the evidence has been presented. The truth has spoken. Love has prevailed. The accusers have nothing left to stand upon. I ask now for your final word. And so, I rose. The very heavens trembled as my light filled the space. A soft radiance poured down from eternity itself, not harsh, not fiery, but pure, gentle, and full of mercy. I looked upon your soulmate, and in that gaze, every wound they carried began to heal. Every scar began to fade. Then I spoke, this soul has been falsely accused, but their name is written in my light. Their story has been marked by suffering, but from this day forward, that suffering shall serve as testimony. I declare before heaven and all creation, this soul is free. A great wind swept through the courtroom. The chains that had been invisible around your soulmate shattered like glass. The energy of oppression lifted. The weight that had followed them for years vanished. What once seemed like punishment now became protection, for even their pain had been shaping them for this divine moment. The accusers fell silent. Their shadows dissolved into nothingness, for no darkness can exist in the presence of my justice. I extended my hand, and from it poured a river of light, cleansing, renewing, restoring. It washed over your soulmate until they glowed with the same light that had once only surrounded angels. Your soulmate fell to their knees, tears streaming down their face. For the first time, they truly understood what grace felt like. It wasn't just forgiveness, it was renewal. It wasn't just a second chance, it was the rewriting of destiny. And you, my beloved child, far away in distance but near in spirit, felt it too. You might not have seen what took place in that heavenly courtroom, but your heart felt the shift. Perhaps you woke suddenly with peace after nights of unrest. Perhaps a warmth touched your chest as if someone whispered, "It's over." That was the echo of the verdict reaching your soul. The divine lawyer smiled, their mission complete. They bowed before me and said, "Justice has been served, not through wrath, but through love." And I said, "Go now. Let the blessings unfold in the lives of these souls. Let their connection be strengthened, for it is pure." Heaven rejoiced. The sound of angels' wings filled the atmosphere. The court that had once felt heavy now became radiant with joy. Light poured outward like waves, touching even the earth below. And as it did, miracles began to manifest in both of your lives. Your soulmate, once trapped in confusion, began to see clearly. Doors that had long been closed began to open. People who misunderstood them started to see their truth. Those who once opposed them began to withdraw. The tide had turned, not by luck, but by divine order. And in your life, things began to align too. You started to feel more peace, more clarity, more strength. The heaviness that lingered on your heart started to dissolve. Because, my child, when one soul in a divine pair is freed, the other also receives healing. You are bound by the thread of destiny, and when one rises, the other is lifted too. I looked upon both of you and said, "The trial has ended. The sentence is freedom. The result is love." Do you understand, my child, what this means? It means that everything that was meant to destroy you both has now become the foundation of your miracle. It means that the delays, the separations, the misunderstandings were all part of the preparation. It means that even the pain served a purpose. You see, the verdict of heaven is not merely words, it is a decree that reshapes reality. From this moment, everything that once opposed you will begin to work in your favor. Every betrayal will lead to blessing. Every loss will lead to restoration. Every delay will become divine timing. Your soulmate's heart, once wounded, will soon remember your love not as pain but as redemption. They will begin to see you through my eyes, as the one who stood silently for them when no one else did, as the soul who loved them beyond reason, as the prayer that saved them. The divine lawyer will remain for a time, ensuring that justice continues to manifest. They will guard the path, close doors to danger, and open those that lead to destiny. You will begin to notice signs, numbers repeating, feathers appearing, sudden peace in unexpected moments. These are confirmations that the verdict is being carried out. And soon, your soulmate will reach a crossroads, one that leads directly back to you. Not out of chance, but out of divine design. Because once heaven declares something united, no earthly force can keep it divided. Remember this, my child, justice in my kingdom is not punishment, it is restoration. I do not destroy to prove a point, I heal to fulfill a promise. I do not end stories, I rewrite them in light. The world's verdict said guilty, but heaven's verdict says chosen. The world said broken, but heaven says reborn. The world said separate, but heaven says united in purpose. Every angel who stood witness now carries this truth into motion. They are going forth to align your paths, to bring reconciliation, to guide your hearts back into harmony. Not through force, but through understanding. Not through pain, but through peace. And you, yes, you who stood in faith through the storm, I bless you for your endurance. I bless you for praying when you could have given up. I bless you for loving when the world told you to forget. I bless you for holding on when everything seemed to fall apart. Because it was your faith that opened the gates of mercy. You will soon see with your own eyes what I have done. You will hear words of apology, of healing, of truth. You will see your soulmate begin to act with new wisdom and grace. You will watch them walk toward you not as the wounded one they once were, but as someone renewed, stronger, purer, and ready to love without fear. When that day comes, remember this moment. Remember how close they were to destruction, and how my mercy turned everything around. Remember that the lawyer I sent was never just for their defense, it was for both of your destinies. My child, the case has closed. The court of heaven has spoken. You no longer need to fight battles that I have already won. Rest now in faith, for the story that once began in pain will end in divine purpose. The verdict is sealed: freedom, redemption, reunion. Heaven rejoices, and the divine lawyer smiles. The trial is over, but the blessing has just begun. The wind was gentle that morning, carrying the scent of rain and renewal. The earth seemed washed clean, and a golden stillness filled the air, the kind of peace that arrives only after a long, divine battle has been won. The court of heaven had fallen silent now, its verdict echoing across the realms. Yet on earth, something sacred was beginning to unfold, a reunion written not by chance, but by destiny itself. Your soulmate, unaware of how close they had been to complete ruin, walked beneath that quiet sky with a strange calmness in their heart. The voices that once tormented them, the lies, the guilt, the confusion, had vanished. It was as if the world that had once tried to destroy them no longer recognized them. They were reborn, though they couldn't yet explain why. They looked up, and for the first time in a long while, whispered, "God, thank you, whoever you sent, thank you." Those words reached the heavens instantly, and the divine lawyer smiled in silence. Because that simple prayer was their spirit's way of acknowledging what had just happened in the unseen realm, the miracle of mercy, the triumph of truth. And far away, you too felt something shift deep within. Perhaps you were sitting alone, lost in your thoughts, when suddenly a wave of peace washed over you. You didn't know why, but your chest grew lighter, your heart beat steadier, as if someone somewhere had finally exhaled after holding their breath for lifetimes. That someone was your soulmate. Their freedom was now tied to your peace. In that moment, the divine lawyer turned to me and said, "It has begun. The earthly signs are unfolding." And I replied, "Yes, let their hearts now remember. Let love find its voice again." My child, what happened next was no coincidence. Life began to place both of you on paths that slowly drew closer. Little reminders started to appear, the same song playing in different places, a sudden dream of their face, a name whispered by strangers, or the feeling that someone familiar was walking beside you when no one was there. These were not accidents. These were divine threads being woven back together. You see, when heaven declares two souls free and united, the universe itself rearranges to honor that decree. Circumstances begin to bend, people begin to shift, time itself moves differently, all to fulfill what I have spoken. Your soulmate began to see flashes of memory, moments they had buried, promises they had forgotten, prayers they once made when they were broken. Slowly, they began to remember you. Not through thought, but through feeling. A pull began to grow inside them, soft, gentle, impossible to explain. They started to feel drawn toward peace, toward the light, toward you. At first, they resisted. Their mind said, "No, it's over." But their heart whispered, "It never truly ended." Because what I have written cannot be erased by human will. The connection between your souls is not just emotional, it is spiritual. It lives in the deepest part of you both, where time, distance, and pride have no power. And so, step by step, I began to guide them back. Every person who had led them astray began to fade from their life. People who once surrounded them for selfish gain started showing their true colors. False love turned to emptiness. False friends disappeared. And in the silence that followed, they began to feel the emptiness of the world without true connection. That emptiness was not a punishment. It was the space I created for remembrance. They began to whisper your name in prayer again, even when they didn't understand why. They began to feel guilt for the words left unsaid, the love left unfinished. And as they did, I began to soften their heart. You, too, felt this softening. The anger you once held started to fade. The tears that once burned your heart began to fall in quiet peace. The wounds that once defined you started to heal. Because the verdict of heaven had not only freed them, it had freed you too. My beloved, this was the moment I had been preparing you for all along, the divine reunion not just of two souls, but of two hearts made whole through pain, faith, and surrender. The divine lawyer stood beside me, watching as threads of light connected you both again. Look, they said softly, the bridge between them glows again. And I nodded, because it was never broken, only hidden by the storm. Days passed, and then came the sign you had waited for, a message, a chance encounter, a sudden meeting that felt both impossible and inevitable. When your eyes met again, something ancient within both of you recognized the truth. Time seemed to pause. The world around you blurred. Only your heart spoke. They looked at you, unsure, trembling, and said, "I don't know what happened to me, but I feel like I've been found again." And you, with tears in your eyes, whispered, "You were never lost. You were only being guided home." And in that single exchange, heaven rejoiced. Because what the enemy tried to destroy, I had rebuilt stronger. What was buried in darkness now bloomed in light. My child, this reunion is not just about romance, it is about redemption. The pain you both endured was never for nothing. Every sleepless night, every unanswered prayer, every tear shed in faith was a brick in the foundation of this divine moment. When you love through trial, you create a sacred bond that even heaven honors. And because you chose to believe, I chose to intervene. Because you held on when logic told you to let go, I stepped in to restore what no human hand could fix. Now, as your hearts find their rhythm again, understand this: the lawyer I sent was not just defending your soulmate, but defending your destiny. They ensured that no force, no lie, no curse could ever again stand between you and the purpose I designed for you both. You will begin to see blessings unfold rapidly now. Paths will open with ease. The confusion that once clouded your life will lift. Where there was chaos, there will now be order. Where there was fear, there will now be faith. Your union will not only heal you both, it will inspire others. The world will see through your story that love protected by heaven cannot be destroyed by hell. I will bless your connection with peace, prosperity, and purpose. You will not only love each other, you will serve together. You will become light bearers, showing others what grace looks like when lived out in human form. And should trials arise again, remember what happened in that court above, how truth stood up, how light triumphed, how mercy rewrote fate. Let that memory be your armor. Because now, the same divine lawyer stands as your eternal guardian. They will walk beside you unseen, ensuring that no weapon formed against your love will prosper. They will whisper wisdom when confusion tries to return, and remind you of your worth when the world forgets it. My beloved child, I am proud of you. You endured what many would not. You stood when all seemed lost. You believed when the evidence said to give up. And because of that, you have not just witnessed a miracle, you became one. Now go forward. Live freely. Love deeply. Forgive completely. Let the light that saved you both now shine through you. Because your story is no longer one of pain, it is one of purpose. The courtroom of heaven is closed. The accusers are gone. The verdict has been sealed. And the sentence is eternal peace. Heaven smiles upon you now. Your soulmate walks toward you, guided by the divine light that defended them. And in the eyes of both of you, the universe finds balance once again. Because love, the kind that endures storms, trials, and divine trials, is the highest law of all. And so, my beloved, your story ends not in tears, but in triumph. Not in loss, but in light. Not in pain, but in promise. You have seen justice. You have seen mercy. Now, walk into your miracle, hand in hand with the one heaven restored to you. Because I, your God, have spoken. And when I speak, even destiny listens.